Hey, this is Joe again with another video. For the sake of this video, I'm going to do a review of the 1987 movie, The Princess Bride, starring Cary Ellis, Robin Wright in the first movie role, Andre the Giant, Wallace Shawn, plus cameos by Billy Crystal, Carol Kane, Fred Savage, before Wonder Years Fred Savage, and Peter Falk. And of course, this movie is what you would call like a fractured fairy tale. As a matter of fact, during the 1950s and 60s, when you had the Bullwinkle cartoon on television, they had a segment called Fractured Fairy Tales. And this is kind of like the segment you would possibly see on Fractured Fairy Tales. This movie is really about Peter Falk, who plays a grandfather, visiting his sick grandson, played by Fred Savage. And he didn't. Fred Savage's mother didn't know what to do with him, so because she had to go to work or whatever, so she asked her father, who played with Peter Falk, to stay with the kid for a few hours when she goes to work or whatever. And so to kill time, Peter Falk decides to read Fred Savage's story called Princess Bride, and the whole thing is the movie. It's what the story that Peter Falk is reading to Fred Savage. But throughout the time through the whole film, you gotta keep going back and cutting back from the story to Peter Falk and Fred Savage. Talking about the story itself. Well, of course, the story of the Princess Bride part is that Robin Wright plays this spoiled daughter of a farmer who has a farm boy who works there, played by Cary Ellis, and his name is Wesley, and her name is Buttercup. I'm not making this up. So every time she asks her to do something, Wesley always answers, "As you wish," for the whole movie. Well, of course, at one point, Wesley leaves and joins a pirate ship, and he was allegedly supposedly killed. And 5 years later, Buttercup was engaged to this prince, who eventually becomes king of the fictional land that's in the story. And of course, Wesley comes back, supposedly from the dead, and he encounters a guy who kidnaps Princess Buttercup, played by Wallace Shawn, and is one of the great characters in this movie. All crazy characters. And he had a Spaniard swordsman played by Mandy Patinkin, who was also great, and a giant, of course, played by Andre the Giant. And the funny thing is, when this movie came out, it was the year where Andre the Giant turned heel and wrestled Hulk Hogan in the famous match of WrestleMania 3. The same year the movie came out, which is pretty funny, to say the least. But they all gave great performances. Even though this was fortunately the only movie that Andre was in, it was the only he did great in this movie. They all did, and well, they all had some kind of backstory. And Mandy Patinkin's character was to kill the six-fingered man who killed his father. And he always said this like, "I can go Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." As he finally meets the guy who killed his father, and who was the henchman of the former prince, now current king. And they had a pretty good sword fight, and of course, Mandy Patinkin's character gets revenge on him. There's one subplot. While the Wesley story, which is the main plot, Princess Buttercup does marry the prince, and Wesley does go and rescue her, but it was like technicality, they weren't really married because Buttercup never said "I do." So because of that little technicality, they never really married. And Wesley rescues her. They run off in the sunset, and of course, like in all fairy tales, they lived happily ever after. Of course, there was also a plot where Wesley actually, dies, and gets saved by Billy Crystal wearing old man makeup, but using the same voice as he normally would. He didn't really disguise his voice that well. And Carol Kane, of course, famous for being a Taxi and other roles. She didn't really disguise her voice that well either, and you recognize them right off the bat who they were. But the whole story was kind of crazy and silly and over the top, but entertaining. It got rave reviews at the time. Nowadays, you can say, "Oh, this is such cliches and it's so silly and it's all over the top." It is, but it's because I think it's because of the performances and the direction of Rob Reiner, who directed this film. That's one of his early films, and he did a pretty damn good job. Now, Rob Reiner hadn't directed a movie in years, but he did a damn good job in this film, directing this. It's a silly comedy, and it's I always recommend this movie because of the performances made this movie. The plot, you can say it's over the top and silly, like I just mentioned, but it's the performances that made the story believable, in my opinion. That's what made the story. That's what made the movie good, is the performances. Because you have even Andre the Giant, who never really, except maybe in the wrestling ring, he's acting in the wrestling ring, or whatever storylines he had in his role as a professional wrestler. He had in this film, as a matter of fact, in the Andre the Giant documentary, which aired on HBO, talked about Andre's performance in this movie and how physically unable he was to do the role because he had back problems. He had back surgery, and he had other leg issues because of his gigantism. So what he did was the famous scene where Buttercup jumps out of a window in the castle and lands in Andre's arms. She had to be hooked up to a harness and be gently put into Andre's arms, made her weightless to Andre, because if he really does, he was physically able to catch her. But the problem is that because of his leg problems and his back problems, if he really did catch her, as if he jumped her without her being in a harness and made her weightless, he would have been severely injured. They have to maybe try to evacuate him out to a hospital. That's how bad physical shape Andre was in at that point of his life. And was it like 6 years later he passed away? 6 years later. So that's how bad shape Andre the Giant was in back then, even in 1987. So they made her weightless and made her light as a feather, literally, for Andre, and for that scene when he catches her. But I felt that everybody did good. I thought that Robin Wright, even though this was her first movie role, she kind of like, her character was kind of like a snob in a way. And I still can't believe this is the woman who married Sean Penn and had a couple of kids with him. And I'm glad that she eventually saw the light and divorced the son of a bitch. But that's neither here nor there. He did a damn good job. Everyone did. Mandy Patinkin did a good job. Andre the Giant did. Wallace Shawn did. He's a smart little guy with that annoying voice. Especially trying to do the Battle of Wits with Kerry Ellis. Everyone did a damn good job with this film. Like I said, even though it's a silly fraction fairy tale at the top of the review, for some reason, all the actors, as silly as this movie is, the actors made it work. And it's worth seeing, especially for the family. It's worth seeing. So that's my review of the movie The Princess Bride. Please click on the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. It's all WDY. That's C.com. It's a homepage of Rowdy Reviewer. Chris Lee Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.